You were not born empty. You arrived with a purpose, clothed in potential, carrying something the world needs. You are not a mistake. Your life is not a random act. Everything you've survived, everything you've endured, everything you've questioned has been part of a design to bring you to this moment. You have cried in private and smiled in public. You have wrestled in the dark and walked confidently through the day. But deep inside, there's been a whisper, a gentle voice that refuses to be silent. It keeps telling you that there's more. And that whisper is not a lie. That whisper is a preview. That whisper is a clue that your miracle is closer than you realize. You may be walking through a desert right now. You may feel like your prayers are echoing in silence. You may be questioning everything, your timing, your choices, your faith. But let me tell you something eternal. Your feeling is not your future. Your emotion is not your evidence. Because faith doesn't rely on what is seen. It thrives in what is hoped for. Your miracle doesn't need public approval. It only needs your inner agreement. There are things in your life that are about to break open, but they've been waiting on your agreement, not your ability. You keep thinking God is waiting to move, but the truth is, He's waiting for you to believe. Too often we let our experiences define our expectations. We let our disappointments become our doctrine. We begin to believe that the delay is a denial and the silence is rejection, but nothing could be further from the truth. There are miracles you didn't miss. They are simply maturing, and you must not rush what heaven has timed. You can't microwave what was meant to marinate. You can't pull up the roots just because the fruit isn't visible. Some of you are sitting in the middle of a divine setup, but because it feels like a breakdown, you've been tempted to walk away. But feelings are not facts. Storms are not signs of abandonment. Even Jesus slept in the boat during the storm because His peace was greater than the pressure. You are closer to manifestation than you've ever been. And yet, this is where most people quit. This is where most people let go. The last stretch is always the hardest. The final push is always the most painful. But that is not the time to collapse. It is the time to press forward. The womb of destiny always contracts before it delivers. Labor pains are not punishment. They are proof that something is coming. And just because people don't see what you're carrying doesn't mean it's not real. Just because others don't support you doesn't mean it won't happen. You don't need their permission. You only need your obedience. There's a system in the spirit realm. It doesn't respond to whining. It doesn't respond to fear. It doesn't respond to pity. It responds to faith. Faith is the currency that makes the invisible become visible. Faith is the language of heaven. When you speak it, the atmosphere shifts. When you move in it, the mountains tremble. And when you stay in it, your miracle will find you. But you must remain consistent. You must remain planted. You must remain obedient. Obedience is the bridge between promise and performance. You cannot pray for a harvest while ignoring the seeds. The harvest does not come to those who beg. It comes to those who build. You've prayed long enough. Now walk like it's already yours. You've fasted long enough. Now act like it's already finished. There is a version of you on the other side of this test that is stronger, wiser, bolder, more focused. But that version will never emerge if you stop here. You are not stuck. You are being shaped. You are not abandoned. You are being anointed. There's oil coming out of your crushing. There's purpose being unlocked by your pressure. There's greatness rising out of your grief. And if you could see what's waiting on the other side of your pain, you'd praise in the middle of your problem. You'd worship before the way opens. You'd thank Him before the breakthrough arrives. Every miracle begins with a decision, not a crowd, not applause, not visibility. Just a decision to believe when it doesn't make sense. A decision to show up when no one is watching. A decision to speak life when death is all around. The woman with the issue of blood didn't have confirmation. She didn't have a support system. She didn't have a promise that He'd turn around. All she had was a decision. And that decision pulled power from eternity into time. She didn't need His permission. Her faith made a demand on what others walked by without noticing. Some of you have been waiting on someone to notice you. But your miracle doesn't need an audience. It just needs your reach. If you would dare to stretch again, What you've been chasing will turn around and meet you. The enemy has been trying to wear you out not because of what you lost, but because of what you're about to gain. He fears your future more than your present. He's terrified of what you carry. That's why the warfare has been so personal. That's why the distractions have been so strategic. That's why the isolation has felt so heavy. He knows what's about to be released if you don't quit. He knows the legacy that will be born if you keep going. He knows the people who will be set free if you keep standing. So he tries to overwhelm your mind. He tries to cloud your judgment. He tries to make you numb. But your resistance is a weapon. Your endurance is a declaration that you're not giving up what heaven has already given you. Sometimes God hides the miracle in the mundane. You're looking for fireworks, but he's moving in silence. You're looking for the sea to part, but he's giving you a staff. You're looking for angels, but he's sending instructions. Don't despise the ordinary. It often contains the extraordinary. Moses' rod, David's sling, Gideon's torch, a widow's oil, all common things that held uncommon power when touched by obedience. You may not see the full picture yet, but you have enough to start. Start with what's in your hand. Start with what's in your spirit. Start with what's been stirring in your heart for years. You don't need everything. You just need movement. Movement invites miracles. Stagnation invites decay. What you don't use, you'll eventually lose. But when you move in obedience, even if you feel fear, heaven moves with you. You don't have to be fearless, you just have to be faithful. Fear is a shadow that flees when confronted. It cannot dominate a mind that has been renewed. And when your mind is aligned with your purpose, you become unstoppable. You begin to attract what you're aligned with. You begin to speak what you believe and see what you speak. There is a version of your life that already exists in the mind of God. It's not broken. It's not stuck. It's not defeated. It's whole. It's fruitful. It's favored. And every step of faith brings that version into alignment with your reality. Every act of obedience draws it closer. You've been thinking your life is random, but it's been rehearsed in eternity. You've been thinking you're late, but you're right on schedule. Everything that's happened has been a setup to get you here. The betrayal, the confusion, the delay, it's all been woven into the fabric of your breakthrough. There is oil in your scars. There is power in your story. What the enemy meant for evil is about to be flipped. Your wilderness is becoming a well. Your prison is becoming a platform. Your pain is becoming a portal. But you must stay present. You must stay aware. You must stay hungry. Hunger draws heaven. Desperation invites visitation. If you can become desperate for what others are casual about, you will receive what others only dream of. Your miracle is not far. It's just hidden behind your consistency, behind your prayer life, behind your obedience, behind your willingness to endure one more night with expectation. You are not a victim of your season. You are a vessel in your season. And vessels don't choose the oil, they simply carry it. What you're carrying is heavy because it's holy. What you're going through is difficult because what you're about to release is divine. The enemy didn't attack you because of your weakness. He attacked you because of your assignment. You've been anointed for something that hasn't even fully unfolded yet. That's why it feels like pressure. That's why it feels like resistance. You're pushing something through that your eyes haven't seen, but your spirit knows is real. Keep building the dream nobody understands. Keep praying prayers that seem unanswered. Keep declaring life in the face of death. Because when the miracle comes, it won't be random. It will be right on time. You'll realize that every step, every tear, every unanswered question was a seed for the harvest that is now staring you in the face. What seemed delayed was actually being designed. What looked like failure was actually a foundation. And what broke you was the very thing that